Good morning, everybody. MG here from mgcovers.com, bringing you an NHL betting preview for Thursday, last day of February 28th, 2019. We'll give you a complete statistical breakdown and analysis of every single game. We have a huge card for tonight. Well, I say a huge card. Pretty good card for a Thursday, but we have some absolutely huge games. So let's get started. All right, power rankings. If you're new to the channel, we're going to explain this briefly. How we do power rankings is pretty simple. We use even goal differential combined with power play percentage, combined with penalty kill percentage, which are the three elements that basically make up hockey. Then we use that as come up with a power ranking, but we only use stats from the last 10 games. It's a more predictive model that way, as opposed to how a team performed in January is not going to have any relevance to how they perform tonight, the last day of February. So anyway, that being said, that's how we come up with it. Our top power ranking is 120. If a team's 120, that means they have about a 60% chance of winning. The lowest we'll give a team is an 80 power ranking. That means they have a 40% chance of winning. So let's start with the first game. Toronto, minus 112. They come in at a power ranking of 119. This should be a good game on the road to face the Islanders, who are at minus 111. Power ranking of 106. Not really a lot of value there for us. I would consider, if anything, Toronto, although Toronto is playing their third game in 4 days on the road, but would be leaning slightly towards Toronto, and that would be where the value would be if you were going to play that game. Next, Philadelphia at plus 155. They have a 97 power ranking on the road to face Columbus, who I predicted one of the teams that would really excel here post-trade deadline. They picked up a lot of good players. They are the favorite at minus 175. They have a power ranking of 106. Not enough value there to go on Columbus or Philadelphia. Next game, Edmonton, minus 135. They have a 90 power ranking on the road to face Ottawa at plus 115. Power ranking of 93. I would like this game if we had better dog odds towards Ottawa. We don't, so that's as a matter of fact, 93. Let's see if I got this right. I think I showed this on my notes earlier. 93 power ranking. That's exactly what we have the odds for Ottawa. So plus 115. I've talked about this in other videos. You have to treat sports wagering, sports handicapping like a business. So Ottawa is basically, if we played this game, we would have to buy them at plus 115. There's no value because that's the line we have for it, plus 115. Now, if they were plus 180, absolutely, there would be a ton of value there. So we'd be getting a huge discount. We'd be buying a team that we feel has plus 115 odds at plus 180 odds. Next game, this is the big game of the night. Tampa plus 100. They are the dog. Come in at a power ranking of 138. Going on the road to face Boston. Really good team at home, minus 120. They're the favorite. Power ranking of 120. This game really is a toss-up. You can justify value on both sides. We'll look at that. Tampa, for instance, we have both teams about a 60% chance of winning the game. So it's really a toss-up game. So the way we would handicap it, listing odds, Tampa would be minus 150. So you get plus 100. So you get a ton of value there. Same deal with Boston, minus 150. You're getting them at minus 120. Dominguez in the pipes for Tampa, backup goalie. Tampa's playing their third game in 4 days. Again, it would be hard to wager against Tampa. This is one of those games where it just, it's just like I said, it's just a toss-up game. You could justify value either way. It's just going to be a no play for us, but we'll be watching this game. Next, Vancouver plus 136. They come in a power ranking of 84 on the road to face Arizona at minus 150. Arizona has a power ranking of 106. We have a big dispersion in power ranking numbers, so we will look at Arizona on the three-way line, and I'll explain that on the next slide if you're not familiar with the three-way line. Next, Florida. They come in at plus 180, have a power ranking of 107 on the road to face Vegas, minus 222. Huge favorites, even though we have them at only an 87 power ranking. And so we'll look at that game. We got huge value there. And again, if you're new to the channel, how we figure out value, it's pretty simple. I mean, you look, Florida is actually the favorite the way we're evaluating the game, but they're listed as huge dogs. So that's a simple way to define value. Next, Dallas minus 118. They have a 77 power ranking on the road to face LA Kings plus 102. have a 65 power ranking. Again, not enough value there on either side to look at. So let's take a little bit closer look at the Arizona and Florida matchups. Now, Arizona, the odds for the three-way line are -105. And let me explain the three-way line. If you're not sure what it is, on a normal money line, there's two scenarios. Either the underdog wins or the favorite wins. Only two options. On a three-way line, you have three scenarios. You have the underdog winning, the favorite winning, or the game goes to overtime. If the game goes to overtime and you pick the favorite or the dog, you would lose. But because now you have three options instead of two in a traditional money line, the odds makers give you a little bit better odds. So normally Arizona, I think, is -150. So now that brings the line all the way down to -105. Again, the game goes to overtime, we would lose. So, but by doing that, that gives us value. Our line for the game is Arizona -115. We have them at a 53% chance of winning the game. So we have value there, -105, the line that would play, our line -115. Arizona has a huge confidence advantage. They've won 4 in a row. Vancouver's only won one of their last 5. And we have a really big fatigue advantage. I talked about this yesterday. I did a post on the Instagram. It was really interesting. I think it had the 4 teams that were on the road playing their third game in 4 days all lost. And the 2 teams that were playing their third game in four days but were at home actually won. So the fatigue really kicks in. You really see you have a huge advantage going up against a team that's playing their third game in 4 days on the road. And Kemper will be in the pipes for Arizona. He's played really good hockey defending the net. He's given up 3-1-2-2 and had a shutout in his last 5 starts. Looks like Demko's going to go for Vancouver to back up. But again, the biggest thing we have here is the fatigue advantage. Arizona beat them earlier in overtime, so they will have confidence going up against them. So we really like Arizona here. Next, Florida, odds for Florida +180. I feel like this game will even make it to like +200 or close to it. Our line for this game is Florida -115, giving them a 53% chance of winning the game. Florida's won their last 3 out of 5, but they are playing their third game in 4 days. And you might say, well, why would you even consider that if they're playing their third game in 4 days? Because of the value and the money. Because here you have a team that's a -115, a 53% chance of winning the game, but they're listed at +180, huge dogs. So we have a ton of value. It's really like a value play if we played them. Going back to their analyzing the game, they're 12-14. Florida's 12-14 on the road, so not a huge advantage there. Luongo will be in the pipes more than likely for Florida. He's given up 3-1-2-2 in his last 5 starts, so he's playing really good. Fleury gave up 1 his last start, but the next 4 he's given up 5-6-4. So we do have slight goalie advantage there. Now, when I was researching this game, I'd really planned to play Florida, but upon further review, Florida has a ton of injuries from their Tuesday night game. They have like 4 players that might not even play tonight. And so you might ask the question, well, how do you factor in when you're handicapping that? How do you factor in injuries? Well, you just don't play the game. Because if you don't play the game, you will lose 0 money on that game. So it's sort of a safe way to do it, not unless you have, for me, that's what I've always done, because the way I factor my power rankings, and when I'm evaluating the team, I'm evaluating them on everybody being healthy. And then when you have like 4 potential, guys that's not going to play that normally play, I mean, it's going to be a different team, so it's hard to evaluate. So anyway, that being said, let's move on to our actual selections. We are going to go with Arizona -105 on the 3-way line. I know a lot of people probably wager on that Tampa game, Boston. Just a game we don't feel good about, but we will be watching it. So whoever you wager on tonight, good luck. And as always, like this video, subscribe to our channel for more content. We also give an updated post on Instagram daily on the storyline as well as post. If you look in the description box, there'll be a link to follow us on Instagram. So that being said, hey guys, hope everyone has an awesome, awesome day. Take care.